lovely kings, queens, and in-betweens. My name is Elaine, and I want to welcome you back to my Primal TCG Bootcamp, where I'll be hosting classes to help you learn how to play and grow accustomed to the game. In today's lesson, I'm going to continue our review of turn flow and progression. Following the game setup, the game commences with turns that contain 5 different phases. The phases are as follows and in the following order: start phase, main phase, organization phase, battle phase, and end phase. To help keep things digestible, I'm going to focus on the main phase in today's lesson. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. At the main phase's onset, see if any of your trigger effects have been triggered by the start of the main phase and resolve them now. After this step has been completed and the chain has been resolved, if applicable, the turn player gains priority. In the main phase, the player whose turn it is can execute any number of these actions in any sequence they prefer whenever they have priority. They may summon a character once per turn, play a strategy card once per turn, activate a card's main effect, charge essence, or pass priority. Starting with summoning a character, I'm going to review each of these actions and how they work in a little more detail. As I mentioned previously, during their main phase, the player with priority may summon a character once per turn. Should a character card in your hand possess a turn cost equal to or less than your present turn marker, you may summon that character by following these steps. 1. Move the character card from your hand to the general play area. 2. If the character card has a hand cost, move the required number of cards from your hand to your essence area face up to pay for its cost. The hand cost is represented by the number found within the dual card symbol to the left of the character's name. Hand costs must be settled with cards featuring symbols that match any present on the card you wish to deploy. These symbols are found in the top right-hand corner of the character card. 3. The summon becomes part of the chain. It is not a card effect. Priority would then shift to your opponent, who can add to the chain, which would both build and resolve as normal. 4. Once the chain has resolved, move the character into your kingdom as part of its own team. It should be oriented vertically to indicate that its status is healthy. It is important to note that initiating the summoning of a character is restricted to being the first action added to the chain. When transferring the card to your kingdom, it counts as both a summon and a put in play action for the purposes of other card effects. If a card is marked as either unique or a transformation character, which includes unique in its effect, you may not try to summon it if a card with the same print number is already in play. Print number is found on the bottom left-hand side of the card. If a card effect allows a player to summon a character upon its resolution, the character is put into play and has been summoned. A new chain is not created for the summons, and this method of summoning a character as a later effect on the chain is an exception to the game's traditional summoning rules. This action may only be performed if the player has not already summoned a character, and that player may not summon an additional character using the traditional method afterward. Both hand and turn cost requirements must still be met to perform this action, and a player may employ a card effect to summon a character using this method when it is not their turn. During their turn, a player may play a strategy card. They can only perform this action once per turn. Should a strategy card in your hand possess a turn cost equal to or less than your present turn marker, you may play it by following these steps. 1. Move the card to your general play area. 2. Declare the strategy's target if applicable. It is important to note that if the card specifies a target and there is no applicable target for the strategy, it cannot be played. 3. If the strategy card has a hand cost, move the required number of cards from your hand to your essence area face up to pay for its cost. 4. The strategy becomes part of the chain. Priority would then shift to your opponent, who can add to the chain, which would both build and resolve as normal. 5. When the strategy card resolves, apply its effects, then move it to your essence area face up. Strategy cards with the permanent keyword move to your kingdom when they resolve. They will remain in your kingdom until the end of the game, or they are removed by a card effect. It may resolve any of its effects as long as it remains in play and its requirements are met. If the permanent keyword includes a number in parentheses, it enters the kingdom with that many permanent counters on it. At the start of each of its controller's turns, remove one counter, and when the last one is removed, stop applying its effects and move it to its owner's essence area. Some final notes. If a strategy card contains the counter keyword, it cannot be played on your turn. Strategy cards may either begin a chain or add to a chain. If a strategy card is unique, you can't attempt to play it if another card with the same print number is already in play. Another action the turn player can perform during their main phase is the activation of a main effect. There is no limit on how many times they can perform this action each turn. To perform this action, one must follow these steps. 1. Declare the card effect's target if applicable. If the card's effect requires a target and there is no applicable target available, the effect cannot be activated. 2. Pay the cost required to utilize utilize the card's effect. The cost will be one of the following: an action one must perform, which is indicated by the effect's text. It is written in the bottom half of a card. Alternatively, the cost to utilize the card's effect may be indicated by essence symbols. In this case, the expense involves transferring one card bearing a corresponding symbol from the essence area to the discard pile for every symbol present in the cost area. If the cost features a neutral essence symbol with a numerical value, relocate that quantity of cards with any symbol from the essence area to the discard pile. If a neutral essence symbol indicates 0, no essence is transferred. It is still regarded as a cost. Should a neutral symbol indicate X as the cost, relocate any quantity, including 0, of cards of any symbol from the essence area to the discard pile. 3. Put the effect onto the chain. Priority shifts to the opponent. The regulations for constructing and resolving the chain are enforced. The card containing the activated effect isn't relocated to the general play area. It stays put unless it's moved to a new area as part of its cost. Activated effects may either commence a chain or build upon an existing chain. During their turn, a player may charge essence as long as they hold priority. A player may charge essence as many times as they wish. This action is performed by moving cards from your hand to your essence area face up. It is an action that can only be performed when there are no effects on a chain. Performing this action does not start a chain or pass priority to the opposing player. Finally, a player may pass priority to the opposing player on their turn. In other words, the turn player can choose to do nothing on their turn and pass priority to their opponent. During the main phase, the non-turn player also has the opportunity to perform various actions whenever they have priority. They can play a strategy card once per turn. The strategy card must either have the counter keyword or specify that it may be used during an opponent's turn. Strategy cards missing this requirement may not be used at this time. The non-turn player may also activate main effects. There is no limit to the amount of times they can perform this action. Finally, they may pass priority to their opponent. The main phase concludes whenever the turn player passes priority to their opponent, while there are no effects being added to the chain, followed by the non-turn player passing priority back to them. The turn player cannot independently declare the main phase's end. They must transfer priority to their opponent, who may take any action available to them. If the action doesn't involve passing priority, the main phase persists. After both the turn player and non-turn player have passed priority, the main phase ends. Neither player can elect to prolong the main phase, and any chance to execute a main phase action is surrendered as the game progresses to the organization phase. And there you have it, my Primal TCG Bootcamp about the main phase. What did you think of my bootcamp? Did I leave anything out, or did I answer all of your questions? Let me know down below in our shared class notes. I always like to know what you lovely kings, queens, and in-betweens think. And if you like what you saw here today, please smash that like button until it's blue, subscribe, ring that bell so you'll always know when it's time for bootcamp, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye guys!
Hey all you kings, queens, and in-betweens. I just wanted to let you know that the folks over at Primal TCG have set up a promo for just our viewers. Use the promo code KINGS10 at shop.primaltcg.com for $10 off your purchase. I recommend popping in for the deck box bundle. For just $60 and $50 with our code, you get one of their premium deck boxes and their extended promo bundle, including a promo pack, a pre-release pack, and 2 demo decks. Everything you need to get started.
Hi, Tisha Valenza, aka Poison Ivy, and you've just been watching King's Entertainment Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.